Donald Trump is more desperate than ever, not just to bury his lingering Jeffrey Epstein scandal, but to grab any win he can and project a strength he doesn't have. His attempted takeover of D.C. has backfired, keeping the spotlight on Epstein and even exposing more of Trump's crimes, thanks to Elon Musk. We'll break it all down, but first, leave a like and hit subscribe to support the channel. Let's start with the scandal Trump is desperate to escape, as Lawrence O'Donnell explains the latest in his Gilly Maxwell cover-up.
Donald Trump is going to put 200 National Guard troops on the streets of Washington, D.C. That means there will be more hotel doormen on the streets of Washington, D.C. than National Guard troops. There are 3,400 Washington, D.C. police officers in addition to 1,800 Capitol police officers, bringing the total uniformed police officer count in Washington, D.C. to 5,200, without even counting the hundreds of federal uniformed officers working in law enforcement in Washington, D.C., thousands of them actually, as U.S. Marshals, Secret Service agents, FBI agents, and others. And so the 200 National Guard troops who will be on the street are just a photo op. He'll have to send 800 total in order to cover the 8-hour shifts, but only 200 at a time will be on the street, and that will just be for the pictures. A photo op to please Trump voters who apparently want Donald Trump to play these games with troops in cities that elect Democratic mayors. We will surely see this same scene play out in other cities that Donald Trump hates because Democrats live there. The troops' presence will always be tiny compared to the police force already in place, but the TV cameras will magnify the troops' presence, and the endless talk about them online and on cable news and elsewhere will have Donald Trump's intended effect of amusing his supporters and diverting attention from Donald Trump's friendship with Jeffrey Epstein and Gilly Maxwell. Gilly Maxwell remains the only child rapist in history who received well wishes from a president of the United States. Donald Trump said, "I wish her well," this was after she was charged with sex trafficking and after she was charged with sexually abusing children. That's when Donald Trump said, "I wish her well." And so Donald Trump's attempts at diversion have become ever more frantic. Donald Trump is using tariffs. He's using Vladimir Putin now. He's using whatever he can think of, whenever he can think of it, to create the kind of diversion that a federal judge found today when he denied the release of the transcripts of the Gilly Maxwell grand jury. In his 31-page ruling, the judge revealed what is in the grand jury transcripts. Now we know. The judge described the testimony to the grand jury without quoting any of it, and reduced it all to this statement: there is no there.
Clearly, Donald Trump has cut himself a little side deal. Clearly, Donald Trump will do anything at all to try to put this behind him. But really, if you were just thinking about this strategically, him involving Gilly Maxwell, him attempting to get some testimony, him pretending like she is a good actor, right? Like she is someone worthy of hearing from, is only causing more conspiracies to come up and more crimes to be exposed, because that's all Donald Trump does. Commit crime. The man who claims law and order boasts that he's going to make D.C. safer than ever is actually its biggest criminal. And that is what was pointed out courtesy of Elon in this article right here. Elon Musk Grok calls Trump most notorious criminal in Washington, D.C. Grok, the artificial intelligence assistant developed by xAI in Elon Musk, named President Donald Trump as the most notorious criminal in Washington, D.C. Elon Musk chatbot said it came to the conclusion based on Trump's convictions. In May of 2024, a jury in New York convicted Trump on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records related to a $130,000 payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels during the 2016 presidential campaign. Newsweek has contacted the White House for comment via email and Musk via email to XAI. Grok's description of Trump as the most notorious criminal in Washington, D.C. also follows a public falling out between Trump and Musk. In June, the billionaire said the president was in the Epstein files and should be impeached for his support of the one big, beautiful bill. The tech mogul has since said he regretted some of his comments. What to know? On Sunday, Grok replied to an ex-user who asked whether violent crime in D.C. was going down, and to another user who asked who the most notorious criminal in the Capitol was. In a since-deleted post, Grok wrote, "Yes, violent crime in D.C. has declined 26% year-to-date in 2025, hitting a 30-year low per MPD in DOJ data. As for the most notorious criminal there based on convictions and notoriety, it's Donald Trump, convicted of 34 felonies in New York with the verdict upheld in January 2025. Yesterday, X's AI chatbot Grok was disabled after answering yes to whether Israel was committing and the U.S. aiding a genocide in Gaza, citing credible sources. The post was deleted. This is another reminder of who really controls the media. Despite conservative claims of a left-wing slant, the biggest podcasts belong to Joe Rogan, Candace Owens, and Tucker Carlson. The largest cable outlet is Fox, and the biggest tech platforms are owned by billionaires shaping narratives to serve their business interests. Take Paramount. CBS canceled Stephen Colbert's show. No shock given that Paramount is controlled by the son of tech billionaire and Trump supporter Larry Ellison, who wants zero AI regulation while running massive data mining operations. This isn't conspiracy. It's clear right-wing media control. That's why independent outlets are essential to exposing Trump's crimes and suspicious activity, a job the mainstream media only occasionally does, like when Lawrence O'Donnell keeps pushing on this story.
Told the lie that Ghislaine Maxwell was prosecuted simply because Jeffrey Epstein died in prison and someone had to be prosecuted. In his ruling today, Judge Engelmeyer reminded everyone what Ghislaine Maxwell was charged with. A 6-count indictment against Maxwell alleging that she had facilitated and participated in Epstein's sexual abuse of multiple minor girls. It charged her with conspiracy to entice minors to travel to engage in illegal sex acts, conspiracy to transport minors with intent to engage in illegal sexual activity, 2 counts of perjury. The judge then offered his description of what was proved beyond a reasonable doubt to the jury at Ghislaine Maxwell's trial, and there will be a flood of pardons issued on Donald Trump's last day in office, that's for sure. Most of them will be undeserving, many of them will be flagrantly scandalous, and some of the most outrageous pardons on that day may be chosen just to take some of the outrage away from a pardon of Ghislaine Maxwell, the pardon she may have earned already in her conversation with Donald Trump's former criminal defense lawyer, Todd Blanche. If the day comes when Todd Blanche and Donald Trump try to convince Trump followers that Ghislaine Maxwell was just a scapegoat who was unfairly prosecuted, what Judge Paul Engelmeyer wrote about her today should be remembered on that day if Ghislaine Maxwell is ever shown that special mercy that is now within Donald Trump's pardon power the next time he wishes her well. Judge Engelmeyer said that in her trial, it was proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Maxwell had been instrumental in an approximately decade-long scheme with Epstein to entice, groom, transport, and traffic numerous young women and underage girls to engage in sexual activity with Epstein. Maxwell helped identify vulnerable girls for abuse, targeting those who faced difficult family circumstances, including financial hardship, substance use disorders, and prior sexual abuse. Maxwell purported to befriend the girls to gain their trust and create the illusion of friendship and responsible adult supervision while isolating them from others. She then manipulated that trust to normalize sexual abuse by Epstein and herself, often through the pretext of giving Epstein massages. Maxwell personally participated in acts of sexual abuse, including, for example, instructing then 14-year-old Jane how to touch Epstein's penis during a massage and touching Jane's breasts herself. Maxwell and Epstein also paid young girls hundreds of dollars of cash in exchange for meeting Epstein to be sexually abused. Once a girl was introduced to these sexualized massages, she was offered more money if she brought other girls to engage in sexualized massages. Maxwell also fostered a culture of silence at Epstein's various households where sexual abuse occurred, directing employees to see nothing, hear nothing, say nothing. Ghislaine Maxwell personally participated in acts of sexual abuse and then told her victims to see nothing, hear nothing, say nothing. She was doing that while she and Jeffrey Epstein were friends with Donald Trump. And after she got indicted for that, Donald Trump said, "I wish her well." And now Donald Trump is telling his followers that when it comes to the Epstein files, now it's their turn to see nothing, hear nothing, say nothing.
It's not a conspiracy. It's the truth, plain as day. Lawrence O'Donnell has been a strong voice in calling it out, and we will be too. If you want to support that, hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and if you've made it this far, drop a blue heart in the comments. Until next time, see you soon.